Hi, I'm Lisa from AMD and we have the best CPUs for gamers ever. 5800X 3D. That's our best CPU that we have ever made and it's the fastest CPU on the market that anybody can actually get. You may ask how? Because we said so. We said it at CES. No, I must tell you, I'm Gregory from Intel. You know the Team Blue always wins. We're the winner. We have the i9-12900, which is the fastest CPU ever. Liar. Absolute liar. No, that's not true. We are also releasing a 7000 series GPU this year, which will also be the fastest CPU ever. We showed you the demo. The demo was working. It was 5 gigahertz. We showed you. You can't deny it. We showed you the demo. You call that showing? Our Raptor Lake. Raptor Lake is a code name. We're working on it. But our Raptor Lake will eat your 7000 series for breakfast in spring. You know spring? You understand spring, huh? Well, no, they don't have anything. They've been saying stuff, but they don't have anything. We have the world's best CPU, 5800X 3D, and it is available to all of you a little later, but yes, it is available to all of you.
Well, good morning. I am Tim from Apple. How do you know that? Because it's all white. And thank you for joining with us today morning. I don't really know what these guys are talking about, but we've got the best CPUs ever. We have the M1 Pro and the M1 Max, and people are already using and enjoying them. So you guys can keep springing, but we're already there.
CPU wars. Well, CPU wars are the worst thing ever for these companies. It is actually the best thing for consumers like you and me. The more competitive things get, the more innovation it will bring, the better the value, and the pricing will become more sweeter for consumers. To give you an instance, AMD Ryzen 5900X, one of their best processors ever, was priced for about 59,000 in most parts of India in 2021. And you can already see with Intel's 12th gen processors hitting the market, you can get the same 5900X for almost 45,000 as well. Almost a 10k plus saving. And while building a PC, a massive difference in your overall build. You might be able to upgrade to a better GPU or go from SSD to NVMe storage and have such a richer experience. So where are we exactly in this entire CPU war? And what is 2022 holding for us as consumers? I see the starting point of this current war when Ryzen 1000 series processors were released in 2017. Featuring up to 8 core and 16 threads with a 52% IPC increase over their prior CPU products. 52% IPC increase was historical and gave Intel a wake-up call, who were still doing minute upgrades to their entire Intel 6th generation of CPUs and releasing their 7th generation. The second biggest hit came in when AMD in 2019 released their Ryzen 3000 series with another 15% increase from their previous generation, and actually took the lead in the best productivity CPUs with Ryzen 3900X with 12 cores and Ryzen 3950X with 16 cores. This is when Dr. Lisa Su over-delivered and became the star of the chip industry. Before this, AMD was using 12 and 16 cores in their 2000 Threadripper CPUs, but this was the first time it was available on a consumer-level desktop CPU. You may ask, what was Intel doing from 2017 to 2019? Well, they introduced 7th gen, 8th gen, 9th gen CPUs, all of which had small incremental upgrades. And in 2019, with the release of 10th gen CPUs, there was a slight bit of hope with their i9-10900K, which was still crowned as the best CPU for gamers with high clock speeds. AMD still held the crown for the best productivity with their multi-threaded dominance with Ryzen 3900X and 3950X. But it was soon going to be a road downhill for Intel. In October 2020, AMD announced Ryzen 5000 series CPU with 5900X and 5950X. These two CPUs again had impressive IPC gains from their previous 3000 series and took away the crown of the best gaming CPU from Intel's 10th gen processors. AMD simply looked undefeated in every way possible. And the final blow came in for Intel when in November 2020, Apple announced that they will no longer be using Intel CPUs in their Macs and will be switching to their own Apple custom-made chips. Beginning with M1, This was the wake-up call required for Intel. Intel's CEO Bob Swan at that time stepped down from the position on February 15, 2021 and was replaced by Pat Gelsinger, an engineer by background who previously worked at Intel for 30 plus years. CNBC reported that Intel stock was up about 10% just on the appointment of Pat Gelsinger. In the same Q1 of 2021, Intel released their 11th gen of CPUs, with incremental upgrades, but nothing revolutionary to shake the seats of AMD's dominance with their 5000 series CPUs. Now straight away on October 18, 2021, Apple announced their next generation of chips for their power users, M1 Pro and M1 Max, with up to 10 cores of CPU and up to 32 cores of GPU, with an ultra-efficient power which was never seen in the chip industry before. Bundled with their own Mac operating system, Apple has optimized these chips to be an absolute screamer when it comes to productivity. Although these are currently only available in laptops, we have Macs in the past which did carry the same M1. So it may be safe to say that the same M1 Pro and the M1 Max might also be available in Mac desktops too. It is now on 27th October 2021, Intel announced their very first hybrid model CPUs with performance cores and efficiency cores, where they were able to see some light in the glory of the best gaming CPU, again being seen as the i9-12900K, which featured a 16-core and surpassed performances from 5900X and 5950X in many benchmarks. But because of Intel's 12th gen motherboard compatibility and sheer cost of DDR5 RAM, 12th generation has not yet seen its full glory. Hence now, starting 2022 in CES, this is AMD's first fight back, introducing just one chip, 5800X 3D, to take the crown back from Intel, which will still be released by spring, can be even June. But it was important to show it now so that you and me don't forget that their chip is coming, which will be the fastest gaming chip. And this slide right here is a screenshot of desperation, my friends, and a sign of pure war. A war for who leads the crown for the most powerful CPU is going on. I was surprised to see the slide where a company will put together a tie in their benchmarks. So what's ahead in this war? Well, AMD has already promised that they will be moving to 7000 series CPU in this year itself. As well, Intel is working on their next generation CPU, codenamed Raptor Lake, for this year again. As well, Apple will be showing us an M2 chip for their non-Pro model and possibly an extremely high-end chip. Yeah, the rumors suggest up to 32 core chip as well with their Mac Pros, which is still currently using the 8-core Intel Xeon processor, and it is due for its transition in 2022. So we can be sure that we're getting that from Apple. So who will have the crown at the end of the 2022? Do let me know in the comments below. I'm actually betting on Intel this time because we all love a good story of comeback, and also because that will ensure AMD keeps a check on their 7000 series pricing. And it remains all sweet and interesting for us, the consumers, watching this war. So let the wars continue. If you're in for understanding another pricing wars on GPUs, then do check out this particular video and subscribe to the channel for updates on CPUs as we steer our way through 2022. And I will see you in the next one.